Hey ho, let's go into the basic Maya interface here. So make sure you watch all of these movies here if you're new to Maya. They'll be very useful. And even if you've used Maya last year or last quarter in the modeling class, it's a really good idea to go through and watch the keyframe animation and maybe the preview render here, just to brush up on those things, because we didn't do any animation last quarter. Alright, so assuming you've watched those movies, let me take you through a few more Maya elements here. First thing we're going to need to do is go up here and set the preferences. This is important so that we're all on the same page, and these are things you don't want to change later. The first thing to do is you see all of the preference settings here. There's a ton of them. Let's go down to settings here, and let's use a time or frame rate of NTSC 30 frames per second. So we're all on the same page there. And then let's go down to the time slider settings, down here under settings, time slider. And let's make the height of the time slider a little bigger, so this gets bigger down here, it'll be easier to grab. And then this is important here, the playback speed needs to be set to real time. If you have play every frame, it'll zoom through super duper fast, which is not so great. So we want it set to real time, 30 frames per second. And that should be the first thing that'll get us going with our preferences. Another thing I want you to do is go up here to this box. Mine says polygons, yours might say something else. Go up here and change it to animation. We might as well do that. And let's see. Last but not least, let's go down to the time slider down here. You can see when we change the frame rate, we got this funky 1.25 frame here. Let's just move it, and let's just set this to 1. So select this down here and hit 1, and then we should get rid of that partial frame there. And let me quickly explain the way the time slider works. So this is called scrubbing, when we just take this and drag it back and forth, and this shows us the whole range, 30 frames. And this interior set of numbers here, where it says 1 and 30, that's what we call the playback range. And these outer numbers here are the full range of frames that we have. So right now we're dealing with a 60 frame animation, but we can only scrub 30 frames in the timeline. If we set this inner range to 60 and hit return, now we can scrub all the way from 1 to 60. If you want to change the size of these frame ticks here, you can grab these little suckers, and this changes the frame range bar. So if you make this really small, the ticks become really giant. So if you're just scrubbing back and forth between 5 frames, you could have it really small, or you can pull it all the way out, and that gives you the scale of the timeline.